Hey, welcome, punks, to the Punkery Show interview session. These are your hosts, Rashawn and Kesh. Kesh right now is playing GTA 4 dating men. But we've got a special guest here today. One of the most anticipated interviews in quite some time. We have Parrish. How's it going, Parrish?
Hello. It's going well.
It's going well. Last week I understand that you couldn't hold down your wine and you took a small nap that turned into a long sleep. Is that right?
That's true, yes.
You see, that's why I really do not understand the point of naps. I've tried to nap before, but, I just never saw the point in going to sleep. Not even going to sleep, because it's not called going to sleep apparently, for 10 to 15 minutes and, being rejuvenated after. I just don't know the secret. Is there a secret? I have no idea.
I wasn't intending the nap, but I was laying down, and I think it just fell into a sleep. Not specifically intended a nap. But I think it helps with people that work a lot to nap, and old people, I guess.
Yes, and old people.
I actually got advice by I think it was psychologist or something that you should take like about 25-minute naps at max, because if you do more you end up being more tired in the end.
Yeah, that's true, because your body prepares for a long sleep.
Yeah, but it didn't work with me. I always fall asleep for too long. I could never maintain that 25 minutes, even if I made the alarm I would go over the time limit, and it just didn't work for me. So I don't know how people do those power naps, I guess.
Yep, no idea. I mean, what if you set an alarm for 25 minutes in the future and you don't, you stay awake the entire time? What do you do? I mean, what do you do? The map sucks. The nap sucks, I mean.
Map sucks. Or what do you do when you stay up till 4 a.m. to play with Roshan and then Roshan doesn't appear? And then you fuck up your entire week's time sleeping schedule. So, GG, thanks, Roshan.
Okay, listen, don't believe her, right? She goes to sleep at 4 a.m. every night, okay? So,
since then, because I messed it up.
Shout out to Sigma, he just said, I will do your mom, nerd. I love that. That's good. Alright, Parrish, first question is usually the same. How and when did you join CnR?
How I was using a computer, I guess, when I was younger. My brother showed me how to use it, and when must have been, I think originally, I played maybe one night or something, very 2009 or something, and then I think I got more into playing when I was older, sort of maybe 2011 to 12, and then 13 I think I was I played for a whole year, I think, straight. Or 14.
Is it true that you and your brothers shared one computer?
No, that's not true. Sometimes my little brothers would break their computers, and then they would sort of share their computer until they got a motherboard or something or other that they needed. But no, we never shared one computer.
I mean, usually you guys are on at the same time, so I assume you had 5.
Yeah, we actually used to have two long desks set up in the kitchen, and we'd all put our computers along them and play.
It's almost like a mini internet cafe. How about that? Only just for the family.
Yeah.
I don't know
about... A mini
about...
LAN party.
Yeah, it was a mini LAN party. I don't know about you and your families, but, I just would never introduce my sister to CnR. I just never do it.
She has played with it, though, Sean?
She's played SAMP before, yes, but she has never played CnR.
How old is she?
She's 18, but...
Yeah, better safe that she stays away.
Exactly. I'd love her to, keep her mental stability and not be on the server, so I'm not
There
as
is
old.
There's actually a girl of a well-known, a sister of a well-known regular playing server that is almost a regular now as well, and people don't know it. Most people don't know it, and I'm not gonna tell you who the person is, but yep.
Yeah,
So
not bad.
if you really want to, you can keep it a secret, you know. Kind of works with that. I know who she is, but I don't think many people know that she's a regular player's sister, and that she's even a girl, you know. So.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, we could keep it a secret, but you know, secrets don't always get kept, you know? So, you never know. You never know. And even with that, that still doesn't take away the factor of keeping one's sanity from playing the server. So, you know, I think she can play, you know, Overwatch, where the fuck she plays, you know, League of Legends.
What?
Yes, exactly. Also, perish. I also wonder, you know, since the word perish means to, for lack of a better phrase, get your ass kicked. You know, yes, yeah. Where did that is dead. Where did that name come from?
I went through a few names playing CnR, like Red Rum Murder and Anaru, Lollipop for a small time, but Perish, I wanted to have a name that was neutral, sort of not male or female, just sort of something also that had a meaning as well. So I wanted it simple, not too long, not too short. So I just racked my brains and looked at. I have a dictionary that I like to look through occasionally, and I came across it and I liked the look of it, and that's why I chose it.
I like your brother's name, Piglet.
Which name do you like? There are a few of them.
I think it's Piglet, no?
Yeah, Piglet. He's probably the most trollish brother of them all.
Yeah, I would assume from the name.
For sure, yes.
I think Piglet comes from us just... He was filthy when he ate, and he smeared food all over his face as a baby, and even into his teens, he would just always find the spoon onto his cheeks, and we always just called him like a pig, like you eat like a pig, and that's where the name came.
Does he snort?
When we used to call him a pig, he would snort, yes, to annoy her.
Oh, them.
But that. See, there you go. He's
Are they aware that you have an interview? I mean, are they there now and they're like jealous because you get attention?
No, I'd never told them about this actually.
Really?
Let me just check if their name's up.
Really? You never told him?
No, they're not playing it at the moment, but I'm sure they'll listen to this interview later, or I'll randomly send it to them if I think it's...
Yeah, I mean, they didn't listen to that Donkey Day for like 2 years, so, you know.
What was that?
They didn't listen to that Donkey the Day that I put on them on Christmas of 2017 until...
Yeah, I only recently saw that too.
GG the archive. But yeah, we'll get into that in some time. Speaking of that, though, I understand that you are a vegan. Right, you're a vegan.
That recently has been going downhill.
Really?
Oh, shit! I should not have mentioned that, because if my brothers listen to this, oh my god, I'm saying too much. I don't want to talk about veganism right now. It's not good.
Well, I can cut that part out. You can just act like you're still a vegan, because I wanted to know...
No, don't cut it out, I should be honest.
I mean, I kind of did want to know, because, like, when I was growing up, people used to just say vegetarian, and now all of a sudden there was a new word, and even though I Googled it, I seem to be too stupid to differentiate what a vegan is from a vegetarian. So, as you are 100%, you're 100% vegan. So yeah, give me some simple words.
Okay, in simple terms, a vegan doesn't eat any animal products anything that comes from an animal, milk, cheese, anything related to animals is nothing, like no go. You just plants, beans, vegetables, fruits, and all of that sort of stuff. A vegetarian doesn't eat meat. That's very simple. They don't eat the flesh of an animal, but they will eat the products of an animal, like eggs and dairy and I don't know whatever else comes from an animal that doesn't require killing it.
Okay. Do you?
So, Roshan,
What?
there's still a hope you'll eat your meat like you hope for.
Yeah, there's still hope, but I don't think she got that. Do you? Random question: do you eat Oreos, or do you eat gummy bears?
Yeah, Oreos are vegan. I ate snakes today, and they were vegan, like lolly snakes.
So that sounds so Australian. I ate snakes today.
No, not real snakes. I'm sure that depends on the snake. Maybe it would taste nice.
Well, the thing is, right? The thing is, though, with Oreos, do you know that the cream in Oreos is not cream?
Yeah, I know that they're vegan. Yeah.
Wait. Okay, hold on. So, are these vegan
I've been vegan
Oreos?
since I was 16, so I know many products and I know what they are.
Yeah, because I was pretty devastated when I found out that like gummy worms and
Yeah.
Oreos were just animal fat. Which
I don't know about Oreos, but definitely the gummy bears have animal fats.
well, I tell you, they're doing a lot of stuff to our food. It fucking sucks. I want to eat.
So you're vegan? I'm confused.
No, I'm not vegan. I'm not vegan, but I'm just
Vegetarian?
saying. No, I eat meat. I'm a meat eater, and I'm gonna have issues when I'm 60, I'm sure. But it's. Here's one thing I wanted to know also, because back during Greens' interview, right? We talked about this couple in Florida, in America, that they're vegan, and they fed the baby vegan products. So, as you are 100% vegan, when you have a baby, if you have a baby, is it really plausible to give a baby a vegan diet when they're growing up? Because I don't see how that works.
A lot of people do that for their kids, a lot of vegans that I know, but personally I would not do that. I would let the child eat whatever it wants and then when it was older I would explain, this is where it comes from and it's an animal, and if I'm still a vegan, well, not really a vegan right now because I ate meat recently, some chicken and some fish. I think that's a long story, but I didn't buy it. It was just there, and I've been a bit loose with my veganism lately. But no, I would not pressure my children to be vegans, and I would let them do what they wanted to, and let them explore food.
Is your entire family vegan, or just few of the brothers, or?
All of my family is vegan except for my father.
Yeah, he's the old school dude. Well, we were talking about that thing 2 weeks ago, and we were thinking, or I was thinking, because I'm kind of different. I was thinking, well, if, for example, the mother, right? If the mother only eats a vegan diet, it wouldn't make sense for her to refuse to breastfeed her kid because her diet is completely vegan. So even though, wait, hold on. Yeah, breast milk is not from a cow. Yeah, so it would be completely vegan.
Unless you call the girl cow, maybe she is a cow, but.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, exactly. But still, breastfeeding your kid as a vegan, that's vegan because your mother only eats a vegan diet. So
Yes,
the logic didn't understand.
Consent.
Yeah, exactly. So that family's stupid. But I was gonna ask also, why are you vegan? Because again, you're 100% vegan, but you just answered your family is vegan, so I guess you were brought up on that, and you know.
When I was 16, I decided to go vegan with my family. But why is because mainly, well, it's immoral to, I think, kill an animal, and I personally wouldn't be able to kill an animal, and also because I just feel healthier as a vegan, and with the food that I eat now, I am just content with eating simple food that doesn't require like the refrigerator or stuff like that, and it has less what's it called, germs and things like that, and it doesn't rot and stink, and I eat food that just is more fresh.
Oh, there you go. All you have to do is have some meat and just leave it out for 3 days, and probably you'll never eat meat again. In that case, since you're 100% vegan, and since you carry on a dictionary as well, you must have been against the idea of the Emu War, the Australian Emu War, where they tried to. What was that again? There were too many emus in the place, and they tried to destroy things.
Emus.
Emus?
You say emus, like.
Yeah, I didn't practice saying the word.
We usually say, you pronounce the U like emus, but you say it like emu.
yeah, emu like kind of like a cow hybrid, yes. But you must have been against
I got a question.
What?
In PM, how many meals do you have a day?
How many meals?
I have breakfast, which is like oats or toast and nuttalex, and then lunch is like whatever I can find. If I'm working, then it's probably sushi or a wrap, and then when I get home, I sometimes cook, but lately I haven't been cooking. I've just been eating easy things, or I've had some chips lately, like easy to make frozen chips. Anyway, that was a strange question.
Well,
I still have a question which goes back to the starting point almost. So you said you and your family decided to go vegan. So if I understand this correctly, you weren't like born into already vegan family. Your whole family decided to go.
No, yeah, we were all at the same time. We got the knowledge that what happens in the industries and the health effects of meat, and then we all as one changed what we bought at the shop and what we cooked together.
Wait, really? I assumed that you guys were vegan from like the start.
Mom and dad being vegan before you, yeah. That's what I thought as well, but and why was like dad just couldn't give up the meat or something?
He just absolutely thinks that it's like loony. Like he calls it. He used to scream out, "Loonies!" Like call us lunatics for just what we would do with our diets, and he would be like, "Where's the meat? There's no meat here." It's just very old school sort of ways. Like they used to in Latvia, they'd kill a pig with a knife in the throat and eat it, or cook and eat it. So to not eat meat for him is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I bet now he says, "Ah, you guys are jealous, huh? I've got this big, tasty rib, while you guys are eating your fucking lettuce."
He didn't specifically say those words, but he would say, "Oh, this meat is very juicy," or very, very yummy meat and chicken. Like he would just exaggerate the meat in front of us when in the past. But now these days he's much different to who he used to be, because he has dementia, so is not so, he doesn't think like that anymore. He thinks very in the moment, and sort of the world is not the way that it used to be to him. It's a lot different.
You probably forgot you're vegan.
Possibly.
He doesn't forget too much. I mean, he knows all of us, but just his general sort of consciousness is a bit skewed.
I know I made a joke, but actually, yeah, like dementia is really people underestimate it. I mean, I worked in nursing homes, and it's okay like at the start because it's just small things, and your perception of reality is a bit skewed, and like you start forgetting things. But at the end, really, or when people are really old, or when it's like at the later stages of like dementia, like severe, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch for the relatives of the person, so yeah. I probably shouldn't have made a joke.
No, I assume
No,
that
it doesn't bother me.
I assumed that dementia was like similar to Alzheimer's. I don't know.
I think they're very different. Different effects on their actions and their mind and things like that. But
I mean,
I'm yet to sort of delve into the symptoms and sort of what goes on with Alzheimer's. His dementia is not too bad. It's just if he's taken out of his general environment where he's used to being, then it will sort of fire up and it will get out of control.
Oh, it's tougher for him to adapt. Like,
yes. So if this is a routine and he knows exactly where he is at that point, then it's good. But any sudden changes can be a lot.
oh, how about that? Speaking of that, though, Parrish, would you consider yourself to be a hippie?
I would say in the past, very much so, and I think now I'm sort of veering away from that. I'd say I'm moving more into the system of the society sort of based living, but I do resonate with the hippie sort of perspective on life and that sort of thing. But I feel like I want to do more than just be in nature and be free and all of that. I want to take action in my life and in other people's lives to help, and that in that sense, that's why I have to be sort of connected to the system and go through sort of more like a university or study something in depth, so I can bring that knowledge that I learned somewhere where it needs help. Like what I want to go into is psychology, so I can bring that into sort of early education and dealing with kids and their issues, and if they've been abused, then it's sort of a lot what Chessbook does at the moment. So that's sort of a long-term goal, and that's why I would consider myself not really a hippie, because hippies are like, well, if you're free in the nature, you won't have any worries. So that's not my perspective at this point.
So this was actually the question I was gonna ask you. The next question before you went into psychology thing and stuff. You are like 21 years old, right? And I've asked Greens, I believe, from previous interview. What are your interests in life? What do you do? Do you study? Do you work? Because you mentioned university now. Have you applied to university? Are you studying already?
I'm studying currently. Well, there's small things that I need to do to get into university first. One of them is have the qualifications, because I left school early. I didn't complete the set sort of high school certificate stuff to then apply to uni. So at this point, I am working towards getting the credits to actually apply, which is this thing called a stat test, which is something I was studying for tonight. And it just asks you a lot of different questions to give you a result on the test, and then you bring that test to the university, and that is a credit sort of over instead of high school. So that's what I'll do before the end of the year, and then apply for the next year's new the start of the new degree. But my interests are psychology. I'm getting a bit lost in my thoughts. I think I just need to drink some water.
I thought you were going to say you need to drink some wine.
Yeah.
No, that won't help.
See, I always assumed because, I mean, it was just like stereotypical thing, but because you said you're kind of from hippie family, I actually assumed you've been like homeschooled, you know, that you didn't actually like go to proper high school. At least I know that in America it's kind of thing. People are being homeschooled.
Yeah.
I wasn't homeschooled. I did a lot of traveling between school, but never homeschooled. It would have been nice, I think, to be homeschooled, but I also think that I wouldn't have connected with people as easily that high school would have prepared me for, I guess, seeing the general idea that people have and the general social things that occur in high school taught me a lot about people, and I think that's something that lacks in homeschool possibly, but it shelters, I think, for a lot of what is out, negative things that are out in the world and what people are capable of doing to be mean or degrade or other things like that. So I think going to a high school brought me a bit of resilience to people, and it was a helpful thing, but not that I enjoyed it too much, but I'm happy that I went and experienced it and have that relation to other people. But yeah, it definitely isn't something that I feel helped me to figure out what I really wanted to do in life, and I'm happy now that I've figured that out and I'm aiming towards that goal, to go to university and delve into what I'm interested in.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much, kids are just a bunch of little bitches. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's actually my really only issue with homeschooling is that, you know, like you have professors that are taught some specific topic and they probably know it a bit better than your own mother, you know. And second being that you kind of shield it from the rest of the world, pretty much, you know. You're like in a cotton little wrap of your family, like, and you never have to go through actually, I don't know, going through high school, you know, whether you're popular or not. Even if you're not being bullied, you maybe like see it happening or see people kind of being the, how do you say, like, you know, they don't help you out, or like they want to have your notes, but when they are about to, like, they have to send you something, they don't, and they don't return favors and stuff like that. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
all of that.
And I see that in young children. I've recently started working in childcare, and I see the way that the children interact with each other, and they're all very different, and some of them are very sensitive and some of them are very harsh with each other. It's interesting to see the way that they learn as well, and the way that when they become conscious of what their actions can do to other people. And this one girl I saw, a girl and a boy last week, she had a ball, and then this boy came over and he took the ball from her and tried to he yanked it out of her hands and said, "It's mine, I'm going to play with it." And then she was also playing with another boy, and this boy saw that. I think they're very young, maybe 2 to 3, and he came over and he yelled like a monster or like a bear at this other boy that ripped the ball out of her hands, and said, he said that was very naughty, that was bad. And then he sort of like did this animalistic scream at him and had his fists balled up, and I saw that and I thought that's very, like, this is something that this boy learned to protect, and somehow hopefully that his actions where he was angry taught this other boy that was wrong. And I love to see, and I thanked the boy for I know it was probably a bit aggressive for him to yell at him, but I said thank you for expressing your emotions and letting your friend there know that it was wrong what he did to steal that ball from the girl. And then the other boy was listening as well, and he sort of realized what he was doing, and realized that we could all see that what he was doing was wrong. And I think early education is something really important for leading into school and then high school. And I think if you start the lessons very young, then people will learn how to be good human beings and respect each other, and just all the basic things we need to be human, I think. And yeah, it's, for my purpose right now is to teach and to be present, and yeah, I guess going into psychology as well, it helps working in an environment where I can observe the workings of the human mind, where it's very young as well.
If you don't mind sharing, like, actually that's a bit personal, I guess. I was gonna ask you, like, why didn't you complete high school? Did you move, or was high school really tough in Australia, or?
It's a good question. Yeah, I will answer. I left because I was fed up. I was fed up with it all, and I didn't see a point in completing it. It wasn't that I was being bullied or anything terrible was happening at school, but I had been fed up with it and felt that I needed to. I couldn't physically put myself through the motions of doing tests and caring about it. So I had no care. It was like a complete waste of my time. So I just had to leave. And my parents, they were very good about it. They didn't have any qualms about it. And then I meandered onto what I was focused on at the time, and that was photography. So I did a bunch of photography, and then later, I think a few months later, I did some traveling with the circus that my family knew for a long time, and we used to go on holidays, but we ended up just doing a bit of traveling, and I think that was far more beneficial than going to high school.
Yeah, I think maybe it was beneficial because, like, now you actually want to go back to school, you know? Maybe it was a good decision, because
I absolutely think so. I think I needed that amount of time to let go of being forced to do something I didn't want to do, and figure out what was best for what I needed in my personal development and my personal interests and growth. And I think, that letting myself just be and explore and was positive, because I felt too constrained and restricted, like I was in a box.
I think it happens a lot of times, actually, like, especially like in this age. I think you start school so young. I mean, I know I started like when I was 6 or something, and nowadays in Slovenia, kids start with school already when they're 4.
Wow.
And when you think like you're gonna be at uni, and then when you have like master's degrees and stuff, and then you're in the school system like from age of 4 to age of 30, pretty much, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. And different people you are from age of 4 to 30, you know, people change, people want to find out what they want, what they like, stuff like that, and you're always kind of like chained in that system a bit. So it was like a probably positive thing that you took like a year off or something, and now you actually want to go back to school, you know.
Yeah, and also with my whole my process now of going back to school and university, it's interesting that previously, when I first left school, growing up in a very sort of free, anti-system family, sort of institutional education family, I was also against university and the government and sort of the system, that the society, that is the jobs that the people have to, well, they don't have to, but you know, it's something that it helps them survive, and maybe they don't want to do it, but they do it for their family or this or that. But I was getting a bit emotional tonight because I realized this journey that I'd just come through with just growing in myself and figuring out what I needed for my life, and seeing that I loved my brothers and I loved my family so much, and I wanted to align with what they believe in and what they want me to do, and they want me to be free and they want me to be happy, out of the system, out of society, because they feel that it will hurt me or take me away from what matters in life, or whatever it could be. But I decided in myself that I needed to do what I need to do, and that does not align with my family, and that's something that I struggled with a lot, especially one time when I told my brother I wanted to go to this music school or university. I think it was university actually before music school, and they just got very upset and they tried to talk me out of it, and then I got very upset because I felt, well, this means so much to me and I really want to do this. Why can't you see that this would be beneficial for me and this would be great for me to do? And they were giving me all the reasonings that they had, and I think at that point I drifted very far from my family and what their values were, and that's when I wanted to go out on my own and find what I really felt passion for, and what motivated me in life, because I also had a bit of, at that point, depression and the other things that were bringing me down, and so I was seeking sort of an answer for my life, and I felt that my family couldn't give that to me with what they aligned with in their views. So yeah, that's what I released, and what I'm healing from now is following what I want to do, even though it doesn't align with my family, and it is in the system and it is in an institution. But I know what the outcome will be, and I have my own vision for going through that system, and the end result will be having the ability to help people in the end.
So your family, I mean, by the sounds of it, they are more like hippies than you, right? So, I mean,
yes, I guess so.
You have a large family, right? You have how many brothers? 4? 3?
I have 5 brothers. One is a half brother, and he lives in a different state with his own family and kids.
Okay. So, I mean, since they don't like institutionalized sort of living or jobs and stuff like that, but still, like, you have a large family, they have to survive themselves somehow, you know. So, like, do you have sustainable farm or something like that?
They currently live off with power. They use solar, and they're on a property quite far away. They still go to the shops at the town and things like that, but they don't have to work. My mom's a carer for my father, and I don't really want to go into too many personal things, but
yeah, sure.
They're just living their life in the way that they can, and they may struggle at times because of the choice that they've made to be away from jobs and other things like that, but it's something they've sacrificed to have their own freedom, which they have desired for their entire lives.
Yeah, you want to live off the land, you live off the land,
Yeah, that's right.
No,
and I think that's embedded in their values in life very much, and I don't think they will ever enter society in the same way that I.
Well, I wanted to go back to the previous topic, because it reminded me of some dude that I know. He just told me out of the blue, he's like, I'm tired of people telling me what I should do, and I'm like, well, it's fine to, like for example, when you have a plan, right, like how you were talking about before, it's fine to have a plan and, like, have people give you feedback, but in the end, it is your decision, and it's your life. So if 52 people are telling you, oh, that sucks, or, you should, do the same thing we're doing, then you can put that into perspective, sure, but in the end, it's your decision, and people can't let other people dictate someone else's life, and, you've gone in a different direction, which is good. It's good to go in a different direction sometimes, that's how it is.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the more you let people, or the more you listen to other people and what they want from you, then the more you dig yourself a hole of despair.
Exactly, because when you take a path down someone else's suggestion, You know, they may know how to deal with the hardships, but you know, that wasn't your original decision to begin with, so you may not know. And you know, what they say is not going to help you. So you know, that's one thing. Also,
Yeah, and it's realizing that at first, and then putting that realization into action in their own sort of.
exactly.
Yeah. I think like also you will always like partly blame them, you know, because it wasn't your original idea. So when the things start getting sour, like going bad, you know, you will always think, yeah, I didn't want it from the start, and you made me do it, you know, or you convinced me to do it, and now I have to push through it. You don't have to, you know. So I never like wanted this, and now I have to like struggle because of you, you know. Whereas if you fall in struggle by your own hand, pretty much, you know, then at least you know that you wanted it, you know, and it might be easier for you to deal with it.
I think that's exactly right, and it also, I think it just makes you value yourself more and depend on yourself more. And I just think it's just a positive thing to aim for what you want and do it in the way that you want to do it. Because taking other people's advice, even though you could ask for it, you don't always need to listen. I feel that it's the right point in my life to enter university now, because I'm grateful for it even existing and even having the opportunity to go there. And I walked through the campus and I just thought, wow, like this is my goal to do this, and if I accomplish that, even being accepted and all of that sort of stuff, I'll feel like it will have more meaning to me, and I will put a lot more of my heart into my work and into what I know will come of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny that you say something about existing, you know, because lately I've been watching a lot of history stuff, and you know, it's what? Okay, it's crazy.
I wanted to ask you.
What?
No, I wanted to ask you if it's infographics show or something. It's a YouTube channel. They do like animations, you know.
Yeah, there are a few. There are a few, yeah. But it's crazy how much stuff has happened, like in the last century, and you know, like especially in wars, right? A lot of people got their ass kicked, for lack of better, you know, perished, for lack of better phrase, and the descendants of those people that got destroyed never were born. So it's kind of profound. You think about, you know, what you know, if those didn't happen, right? Maybe, you know, you'd know different people, you know, you'd be on this server, there'd be different people on this server, you know, but they don't exist because of that. So, you know, when things are down and stuff, you just gotta remember, you probably, you know, if you're on the wrong side of the coin, maybe you wouldn't be born. So, you know, you gotta take that as a blessing, you know, for sure. Exactly. I want to take a break here. When we come back, we'll talk more with Parrish, because I don't want to say it, but you know, it was 9 a.m. here when we started almost, and I didn't brush my teeth. So when we come,
So we cannot smell your breath at all.
Just
good.
breath. Here we go.
I've got naturally nice smelling breath. So we'll be back on the interview session. All right, welcome back to the Punkry Show interview session with your hosts Rashawn and Kesh, and we still have Parrish here, who just got her tea. These girls love their tea.
Girl.
Yeah, they love their tea. I've got tea too.
It's a chai tea. A chai tea with oat milk.
Oat milk. So you said oat milk.
Yes.
That's something different. The more you say these words that do not align with the vegan practice, like I can no longer edit and take them all out. So I guess you're no longer 100% vegan.
Oat milk.
No longer. I just won't show my brothers this video.
Oatmeal is vegan. What are you saying? It's from oat.
Oh, she's the
It doesn't come
oatmeal.
from
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Oat
I thought
milk.
you said oat milk.
Not goat milk, oat milk. OAT.
milk. Milk. Oat milk.
Oat milk.
It's made from oats.
Well, we call that oatmeal. So
No.
where's that different?
Yeah, it's made from oatmeal
Oh, okay.
mixed with water
Okay, alright.
and then drained and sieved.
It's all similar to me anyway.
You are stupid, Roshan. Oatmeal is made with milk. You put oats in, but the milk is from animal. It's just your standard milk. But she has oat milk, which is made of oat, and it's therefore vegan.
Okay, so why do they
God,
call it...
American.
Listen, hold on. What you just said is a complete contradiction. So why would they call it oatmeal if it's made from
Okay.
milk, and the other's called oat milk, but it's made from oats and water?
Because
right?
it's fucking meal. It's like a breakfast shit. I don't know.
Well, whoever...
Oatmeal is like what is food. Oat milk is the oatmeal that's been mixed with water, like a lot of water, and then drained, and then you take the drainage from the water mixed with the oats, and it makes oat milk. So oat water, basically.
Yes.
Wow, this is a different world to me, I'll tell you that.
Did you apply in America?
Listen, this is America, man. We're big,
You don't even have standard milk. I watched this episode of Jamie Oliver, and it was American school. He tried to reinvent American breakfast, so kids wouldn't eat pizza and shit food in America. So he ordered 3 different kinds of milk: normal milk, standard normal milk, sugared milk like with strawberry, and chocolate milk. And guess what? No one picked normal milk. Everyone picked sugared, either strawberry milk or chocolate milk. No one picked normal milk. That's shocking.
Well, to be honest with you, milk tastes like ass anyway, so I don't drink any of it. Well, yeah, speaking of kids, though, I want to get into kids because it's a good thing, because Parrish earlier was talking about how she wants to work with kids, and I was thinking for quite a while that as the generations go in these modern times, kids are getting a bit more rowdy, younger. About me, I was a different kid. Just like Kesh, who doesn't curse in her language, I didn't curse throughout high school, and I didn't change that because I just was a certain way. So, for example, if I just started cursing, then it would be out of the norm of what people thought I was, which I don't know, take that as. But Parrish, do you think, especially with the example you gave of the kid taking away the I don't remember what it was, the toy, or was the ball?
I've not just seen that. I've seen rocks thrown at people's heads. I've seen people be dragged to the floor. I've seen all sorts of abuse. But, sorry, what was your question?
I was saying, are kids, as generations go on, just getting more rowdy? They're getting more nasty early on in age, and it turns, as they get older, they just get more nasty.
Well, it's specifically because of what they experience in their early years that it brings that outcome for their high school years and later years. If a child is in an environment where that is exposed to them, violence or chaos, or they're watching something on YouTube where it has a lot of swear words, which is so prevalent, I think, on YouTube and things like that, and even on TV, I think, anywhere there's movies, and if kids see this, they just sponge it in, and then they just reflect or use it as for themselves. So I think it's not. It's really to do with the child and their environment and what they're exposed to, not specifically the generations. But with all the technology, it's easier for children to have access to being influenced by a variety of chaotic things in the world.
Yeah, exactly. I guess you hit the nail on the head there, because YouTube. I think that's it. YouTube,
Yeah.
you can search a
Absolutely.
wide field of stuff, you know.
I used to, like, when I was younger, my brother, he watched a lot of YouTube videos and was influenced so much by them. And I used to say, hey, you sound like that guy from that channel you watch. And he'd be like, no. But he would absolutely imitate this man that he would watch. And yeah, I think that's what kids love to do. They love to imitate. Like a story I'll tell you, which had happened Friday, or yesterday. Well, it's past midnight now, but yesterday I was working, and this girl named Millie, she's very, there's a few issues I think she has developmentally, but she loves to climb the trees at the childcare center, and it's dangerous though because she gets pretty high, and then we have to run over to her and take her down. So I had to deal with that yesterday, and I think I'm just trailing on to another story, apart, going away from what you asked, but I just want to share this, that how they take in things. With what happened with her, I used different methods. She said she didn't want to come down, so I sort of racked my brains. What could I say that would entice her to come down? And I said, well, how about you be baby monkey and I'll be mama monkey, and how about baby monkey jumps into mama monkey's hands, because baby monkey is very unsafe up in the tree, and you need to come with mama monkey. So she was like, mama monkey, and she was very excited to jump into my arms. But then, of course, it was like a game for her instantly, and she went back up the tree and she was like screaming, mama monkey, I need you. And it was just, my brain was just like, oh God, what have I gotten myself into? And then I came over and I said, but we can't play a game like this, and I just had to talk to her, explain that, and then I took her down and I sat at the bottom of the tree so that she couldn't get there anymore, and I would just stop her from going there. And then I think the other girls around witnessed what happened, and they started calling her monkey. And then when they started calling her a monkey, she started acting like a monkey and going, ho, ho, ha. So I had like rippled this effect of this young girl, and then all the other girls too. And they were like, Millie's a monkey. Look, she even acts like one. I had to explain, no, I don't. You're not. She's not a monkey. I was just joking, so that because she was climbing like a monkey. So then now I have to. That was something for me to realize, that I have to be careful what I say, because they take it in so easily and will run with it. And then you have no more say in what they do with it.
Yeah, you would think when you speak the language of someone that you're trying to, influence, it would fix the situation, but it just turned it into a different situation. Shout out to Lil Uzi Vert on the server. He just said, explaining things to people in CnR, a bunch of monkeys, good metaphor. Continue.
No, I mean, but it's a good case. You said earlier that kids watch YouTube, they sink in, like they're like little sponge, they soak in like all the information, all the things they see, but because we're adults, we see them in different way, maybe we'll think, oh, he's gonna understand it, he's gonna know that it's not a monkey, but it's a kid, so potentially like there's a lot of videos on YouTube that to us they don't seem like damaging or dangerous or whatever, but for a kid it's another story,
Yeah.
So.
Exactly, yeah, because I didn't start watching YouTube until like I was, how old was I? Like fucking 15. So and the younger, kids now, not kids, but the players in the server, they're born in like 99, 2000, and I see them meme about stuff, like bad stuff, they put memes about bad stuff that happened, right? And then I put it in perspective. I'm like, okay, so these guys, like for example, like 9/11, right? People meme about 9/11, and I'm like, these guys are like 3 when that happened. So I'm like, okay, that's why they meme about it, because they don't understand like the the severity. Yeah, the tragedy, the severity, the importance of what happened. You know, so best thing to do, meme about it. Meme about it. So I don't know. People take information different ways. You know, there's all types of information out there. There's true information. There's fun information. And there's bad information, and you know, as Charlemagne the God would say, no one cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. So, you know, that's usually the more fun information. So, you know, people get drowned by that and all that. Let's see here. Also, you were talking about how you wanted to be in.
Also, with that,
what?
just to add before you go into the next one, with the memes and the negative sort of things that people create from that generation that don't understand. They're also looking for a reaction from other people. Like a child would do something and they yell really loud, and they'll look over to see if you reacted to that. So that people look for reactions when they create memes like that and controversy.
Yeah, that's true. I fall into that bait a lot. Sometimes.
American.
No, that's wrong. Listen. People post memes because they want a reaction, as Perry said. You know, it reminds me when Lucas. You know, he posts memes on the CnR Discord. Most of them are so bad, but there are times where it's better just not to react. You know, there are times where people say stuff, and actually, yeah, I do fall for this a lot. You know, people say stuff and they expect a reaction. Sometimes it's fun to do so. Like, for example, when
I agree.
Yeah, yeah. When I play CS:GO, Backfire, he if you know the admin Backfire, he loves when I rage at the game, and he loves when I react. He asks me dumb questions, so I react to him because he knows that I'm going to react to him. But in that sense, it's kind of fun, because it's kind of liberating when something's not going your way and you rage and you can, you know, cleanse yourself.
Yeah, you're given an outlet.
Exactly.
Via a question.
I mean, there is a huge difference. Like, I mean, if, like, you sent me clip yesterday, Roshan, right? So Roshan got 3K playing CSGO joke. And he's like, yeah, I'm so good. You know, like, typical freaking American. Like, I kid you not, I was silver, I got 3K, I'm like, quiet, playing the game to myself. I never react to anything. I don't curse, I don't, like, you know, I'm so good, bro, get at me, you know, or something like that. But Americans, you're a special kind. What can I tell you?
Well,
like,
listen.
Just naturally, you know, like, I don't know how to explain it better, but.
Well, listen. The thing is, right? When you,
for example.
What?
Just let me finish this and then you can, like, you will never have a Finnish person like Blister or like Step Ago like, I'm good. Bro, get this nuts or something like that. And no one can say that ever.
Listen,
it's just how it is.
It's partially it's about the culture, but when, for example, you do something. And you do something out of the realm of expectation, then you have to feel happy, you know? When you do stuff successfully that it is well within your wheelhouse, it's just normal. But if you do something that you didn't know you could do, then you have to beat your chest a little bit, you know? I'm making sense here, you know, right? Honestly, you know? And you're saying that Finnish people would never do that. Well, Finnish people are usually, you know, they're not emotional anyway, so you've never seen
completely. Well, they are absolutely emotional, but it's introverted, and they have different emotions because obviously they have been brought up differently to other people, and they have a different value.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it's just expression. You express yourselves in a particular way, and when you're happy about something, you congratulate yourself and express that in a happy, exaggerated way, which is positive.
Wait, how did we get to this?
Even if it might sound arrogant or egotistical in the way that you say it, you might have a different meaning for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's all in good positivity. Okay. All in.
Of course, if you're saying that people are shit and you're the greatest, that's a bit far. But
that's
if you're just saying you're the greatest, then people can, I guess, think you're egotistical and leave you alone, or just be like, well, that's good that you think you're the best.
Exactly. See.
I don't know.
That reminds me of the time that Kesh wanted an argument when she said Slovenia is the best country. And I was like, oh, okay. You just think Slovenia is the best country because you live in it. I can't argue with that. And she's like, I want to argue. So, yeah, some people just...
When did I say that? I don't remember that. I honestly don't.
You said like 3 weeks ago. But yeah.
Sorry, I derailed your chat again.
Yeah, a little bit. But, yeah, it's still fine. It's fine. Because that does lead into the next one. How you talked about you wanting to be, part of psychology and all that. But, and I found that funny because people on this server, when you think of Parish, usually you think of someone who's a bit off. That's usually the consensus about you on this. Because I was looking at Discord as well. You posted something, and hold on, let me see. I actually don't remember, but yeah, he was trying to imply that you were a bit off. So it is kind of fitting that you want to get into psychology. But so for those people, because this has been a thing for quite a while, for those people that think that you're a bit off,
Very much
you're a bit crazy.
I guess so, in a way.
Yeah. Because I'm going to be honest here, alright? I remember one time I asked Cat Swallow, alright? I asked him. I don't remember. Let me see. I want to see what exactly I asked him. I asked him. What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm pretty sure I asked him here. Oh, I asked him, why is Parish so odd? And he replied, because there's many Aussies like that. So, and based on the stories you talked about I mean, I guess this happens all around the world, but the kids and the throne and snit and the monkey, mama monkey and the baby monkey. Maybe it's true, but when people have this thought that you're crazy or off or something like that, because I'm sure you have internalized this a little bit. What do you think about that?
I speak to Millie in that particular way because she has a few issues, so I have to be a bit more animated in the way that I talk to.
Yes, yeah, I know. But still, like, when people perceive you as this, or similar, kind of, what do you think about that?
What do I think about it?
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear what people have to say, but it doesn't really affect me. I just express myself randomly, and then I think that's what comes across as a bit odd or strange. I don't take it really too seriously. I don't take that stuff seriously, so I don't mind.
There's no normal girls on CnR anyway, Roshan. What did you expect?
Well, I would say that there aren't many normal people on the server, but it's tough to define what normal is, It's just that it's been a running thing throughout time on this server that people have perceived Parish as, for lack of a better word, maybe an extraterrestrial sometimes, Oh, okay, I've got a great example. Like, times when you recite your poems on IRC. I think I think that's when some people, Parish, you bored or something. What you doing? I think
it's just because we are so used on certain type of people, like everyone's the same, and then once.
Well, I think exactly. And when someone starts expressing themselves, people get afraid. They're like, "Oh, what's wrong with them? They're expressing themselves openly." And oh God, what if they experienced in their life that's made them?
Yeah, it sounds so simple and innocent when you say it like that. You know, because
I actually,
good.
yeah, Karen. I actually had a question that goes back to that thing you said, like people think that she's crazy or whatever, you know. But
I think I am a little bit crazy, but it's a good thing. I've learned to deal with my craziness, I think, over time, and it's sort of mellowing a bit, and I'm more focused on what I want to achieve, and that's what's helping me, I think.
Yeah.
The craziness comes from my lack of control, and when I don't have control, I express in all directions, but when I have a bit more control in my life and a bit more sense of what I'm doing each day and I have a routine, then it's a bit more, I know where my head is, and I'm a bit less creative, but then I have the time for my creativity, and I've released that in various sort of random singing at night or that sort of stuff. But when I am completely immersed in the sort of creative realm and not focused on the physical reality, then my mind gets lost and I get a bit crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
think,
Plus, who doesn't like a little crazy, you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
And I also have friends now around me that ground me, and like just communicating with people is a very helpful, and having friendships is great for that sense of reality, I guess.
yes.
I think Roshan is gonna go into this what I'm about to ask, you know, a bit later. But yeah, like your brothers on the server, right? They are not like the nicest players, you know. So what I was gonna ask you is like, and you are a girl, you know. Those are two things that I like want to point out. So with your brothers having their own reputation and hanging out with their own crowd, and you being a girl, did you ever like have troubles like avoiding that crowd on the server, or like, you know, you're a girl and the guys will probably want to play with you or talk to you or whatever, you know? Did you like find it hard on the server, like to stand
first-
out from people that are worth playing with and not?
At first, I did play with my brothers a lot, but then I realized that they were extreme cheaters, and they would always get the server banned, or they would just. I didn't like their playing style, and I liked to play the game by the book, and I like to do everything the way it's meant to be done, the way it's laid out, and the way that's been scripted. But they like to just. You know what they like to do, all sorts of things. So, I guess I met people as I played, and I remember there was a phase with Detective Perry. I think we created sort of a clan,
Jesus
and there was
Christ.
Tanner, and it was like a few years ago. All sorts of people. Sort of, we would play every night and for many hours and just fool around. That was also fun, but it was still a lot of DM. But lately, I've just been playing alone. Oh, actually, no. I play with Chessbook a lot, and Harry Thompson and Ciyber. I love playing with those guys, and Katswillip. It's really fun. Whenever we play, we just have a really good time. So I like playing with people that they play by the book, but also have a bit of fun.
Yeah, because like naturally they're your brothers too, you know, and they could be like, oh, what do you think, you're better than us? Like we're all playing together, and you're always like away, and like you don't play with us and stuff like that, you know. So I just
they do their own thing. They like to cheat, so that's why I don't play with them. But sometimes my brother Indy Roo, but it's not really his name anymore. It's been permanently banned. But sometimes we'll do some robberies together, which is fun. It's nice to just. We don't really talk much. It's just like silence, sort of like, oh yeah, you're playing. Let's play.
Well, it's a good thing Kesh got on the subject, but I wanted to, because I thought about how I was going to get into that situation, because people were like, "Hey, Roshan, driller," driller about her brothers and snits. But I just wanted to set the perspective.
I'm a bit tired of that.
Yeah, I realized that. Because I just wanted to set in perspective because the thought is that, and obviously it's not true, but the thought is that from people it's like that since you seem to be I'm saying this in the perspective of people,
Don't be afraid to offend.
The thought is that since you are the only one with a brain of the group, they think that you're automatically the keeper of your brothers. Like you are your brother's keepers, and I thought this as well. Hence why the Donkey of the Day title was the Parish Brothers, because the thought is that you are like the matriarch of the siblings, so whenever they do something wrong, people will perceive it as like, you are supposed to intervene and do something about that, which, when you think about it, isn't really realistic. And
I feel like I'm like the mother in the situation, and all the CnR kids are like, "Mommy, look what they've done! Do something!" But no, I don't. I've asked them, "Can you not do this or that?" But it's no use anymore. I've had too many fights over it. Whereas not now, but when I was younger, for them cheating and stuff, it's just impossible. And no, I'm not the matriarch. I let they do what they do, and I do what I do. We're very different.
But it's hard, isn't it? I mean, like, there's some people that will always point fingers at you, like whatever your brothers do wrong, and if you would do everything right, people would still associate you with them, right? So you can never really like completely escape that, I guess.
I guess not, unless I changed my name and never told anyone who I was.
That's pretty boring, though.
I guess.
Doesn't last really on CnR either. I mean,
yeah, if Overseer, he used to be Dookie, and he changed his name, and for somehow, like, the secret
I do
was
know
kept.
Overseer.
Yeah, the secret was kept for a long time. So he's like one of the only successful people that actually pulled that off until he came out of the closet. But yeah, especially when you see topics on the forum, like XxXs, for example.
Please don't talk about him. He just makes my blood boil.
Well, whenever one of your brothers cheat, he puts your name in the title, so it's kind of symbolism.
He is absolutely ridiculous. He is the conjurer of this chaos for me.
No. But when people... Well, I mean, yeah, you already answered the question. Like, I was going to say, like, when people think, like, you take responsibility for your brothers, you must think that's ridiculous, right?
Absolutely. They're grown men, nearly. All of them.
Yeah, exactly. When you play with, your friends, Ciyber and Chairspork and all that, do the brothers ever come up, or do they just think of you as just one entity? It's never awkward.
You mean come up as in conversation, or come up as in play with us?
Conversation, no, not play with.
No, we don't talk about my brothers too much. Maybe a few times we've talked about, but they don't bring them up. We talk to each other like friends.
So you don't feel held back at all on this server because of your brothers?
No, absolutely not. I just find them as they're nuisance players, and that's the server's problem. And I don't know, not particularly something I can change, or I'm not connected to it in any way other than the fact that I know these people very personally.
Yes, and also, do you know the origins of why they cheat?
I think they've always done it, and I think they just find pleasure in making chaos on the server. They like to piss people off online. They find it fun.
Yeah.
It's the entertainment for them. Some sick entertainment.
Yeah, it is pretty sick. I mean, you can kind of see it from both sides. I mean, I understand that XxXs makes your blood boil, but, you know, and is it, you know, what he says, you know, may spawn them to do stuff? I don't know. It isn't justified, but, you know, I guess his direction of blame should be put on them. But, you know, I guess the best thing to do is just, like I said before, you can't give power to some things, and you know, like for example, if you got a bully, if you don't give attention to the bully, then they'll just get bored, because you know, people like that are usually simple-minded enough that they need the fun to keep on going, and if the fun is not there, then they have to find something else that is fun, you know. And what is funny about that is I noticed, and this is kind of a consequence of the Donkey Today thing, because, like, for example, there's this dude named Syncroit who I gave Donkey Today to sometime last year. He's a cheater dude, and they've just used it. Him and his friends, you know, who've turned into huge cheaters, have just used it as, they've embraced it and taken it as some form of endearment, and you know, that spawned them to cheat mercilessly. And I noticed as well, when you said that they had watched that Donkey the Day after, let's see, how long has it been? It's been like 18 months maybe. I saw them on the server again, doing the same snit, same stuff. So I was like, oh well, you know, some things just trigger the mind to do stuff that you wouldn't have thought of if certain situations wouldn't have happened. So, you know,
So that's why you should stop destroying infernuses.
no.
Well, this actually reminds me of another experience I had in childcare, where there was one boy, and he expressed himself very loudly at the eating table. He yelled, he was like, "Rah!" And I was like, wow, that was a big yell. And then, oh god, it was so bad. Then all of the kids started yelling extremely loud, and I was like, oh god, like, they all wanted me to say, oh, your yell was very loud. I didn't know what to do or how to make them stop, and I had to wait until one of the other educators that knew them better, because it was my second day or so, and she came over and she was like, what is all this noise? My ears are hurting. And they ended up like quietening down. But yeah, that reminds me, like, when you give focus to someone on what they're doing, then they might do it more.
Yeah, exactly, you know, whenever, like, for example, whenever, Kesh is a great example, like, whenever I don't want her to talk about something, I just don't talk about it, but she will do it anyway, eventually, you know, but, it saves me the ache, you know, so, that's the thing. So I guess moral of the story,
let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah, exactly. We've got to treat people as...
Although they're cheaters, so...
Yeah, well, the situation will come when the situation comes, you know, but basically, the moral of the story is that there really is nothing that Parrish can do, you know, I don't have 4 brothers, I've only got 1 sister, so, you know,
it's just great that I don't get banned anymore. I don't live with them, so it's like... that's the weight of my shoulder.
Yeah, because it can be a consequence on you, you know, based on, you know, being in the same place before, or, you know, how the server perceives you because of what the bros do. But basically, I mean, Parrish and each of her brothers, or all of her brothers, are just a different entity as far as this server goes. So when it comes to...
They're very much one entity, actually.
Yeah, so when it comes to blaming Parrish for her brother's, issues, I mean, there really is nothing she can do. I mean, she's tried, but as we said before, you know, we all make different decisions, and no matter what advice people may give, we will still internalize that, but in the end, it is that person's decision. And in the end, there's no... listen, I'm sorry, guys. There's no grilling to do, because she's got no power.
Thank you for your words.
Yes, you know, and this is all a realization that I'm making as we go on with this, you know, because, yeah, there really is nothing that can be done, you know. Entities are entities, and Parrish will play her way, and her bros will play a different way, you know. So for all people out there, that's just how it is. Just how it is, you know. That's how it is. Speaking of how it is, though, I noticed on Discord, you made a song, and as far as I can figure out, it's about refugees.
Yes.
Yes. What is your stance on refugees? Broad question, yeah, I know. But what is your stance on them?
You mean specifically in Australia or in the world?
In the world, yeah, but you could say Australia as well, yeah.
Well, I think that a lot can be done to help, and I think if the people in power, well, the people that can take action to help the refugees, there will be a bad ripple effect for the generation that grows up from what hasn't been helped. Like the parents that have suffered, and their children will suffer, and it will just sort of ripple on. And I think if something is done now, as humans, we're all humans and we all need help. So I think if we can do the best we can and the most that we can without this sort of all these, there are so many. I don't want the years to come for us to look back as humanity and think, wow, why did we do that? Why didn't we help them more? What was wrong with us at that time? You know, the economy for Australia will be affected either way. There's not even too many refugees coming. So I just think more can be done, and I think that the leaders at this point, the people that can help, are holding back on the abilities they have to change what is actually happening right now and affecting these real people in these centers, detention centers and things like that. And it's chaos there, and people are they're not being treated as humans, so they do very terrible things to themselves and probably to other people.
So you said that there aren't many that have gone to Australia, right?
Well, I think that there's enough that we can take in and help, and I think there's also an offer from New Zealand recently that they said that they will take refugees to New Zealand, so that is very positive, and I think that would be a great move for Australia to send them there and help, and have New Zealand help them as well.
Well, you know, I've noticed a lot of Europeans, because I guess Europe has taken a lot. I've noticed that Europeans are, for lack of a better word, scared. You know.
Oh, good job, America. You fucking bombed Iraq, Afghanistan, all down south from us, and then the fucking people have nowhere to go. America's like, Europe will do it.
Well, Europe's closer, but the thing is that people just seem to be scared. Now I don't seem to understand that. Because it feels like fear tactics. Because
Yes, we can't evolve with fear. It's fear of our own self, fear of our own human.
exactly, because I mean, stuff happens every day. Okay, stuff happens every day. People get robbed or whatever the hell every day, but people news outlets just seem to prioritize bad things that refugees do, and it gets into the mind of people, and they just think, well, all refugees fucking suck, and all this, and they're gonna rape me, or they're gonna touch my ball sack or something like that. They're just
Absolutely not. There are crackheads in our own countries that wreaking havoc, more so than any of probably thousands of refugees would ever do in their entire lifetime.
Exactly. Let me get to a tangent here. All right, so Cash, you want to blame this on America? All right, first of all right, and I think I'm accurate with this. So, so like for example, like after World War I, right? The Western world, okay, so America, Britain, France, they drew these borders in the Middle East that are not indicative of the people that live there. So, like for example, like in Iraq, let's say, back when Saddam Hussein was ruling, right? They had a fucking Sunni dictator and mostly a Shiite country, which it's not compatible. Okay, so when you get incompatible people to come together under one country, things can happen, and it's not. I mean, I guess you're not implying it's their fault, but it's not only America's fault. Like, it's part of Europe's fault too. Like, they fucked up as well back then. So, but still, yeah.
No, mostly it's America's fault why those people are homeless and without houses and without anything. We didn't get anything from it, really. You went there for your fucking gas and oil, and now you just abandoned everything and just let the rest of the world to deal with it. Actually, America is really bad for everyone in general. That's why people don't like America anywhere else than in America. There's a reason for it. But anyway, I don't have that opinion on immigrants like most people here have, and I completely agree with Parrish, what she's saying. Like, it's just a fear tactics. People are presented like news and stuff like only immigrants are doing them, Also, but also there's other also other point that is like you said, murders, shootings, things like that are happening every day, people doing things like that. Well, not here. Yeah, in America, but not here. We have like 2 murders a year in the whole country, So how you seeing things is from a completely different perspective. If there's 2 murders a year and now there's 10 murders a year since the immigrants started coming, you kind of do understand why people are scared, and they leech on anything that is filled with fear even more so,
Well,
from there on. So, I mean, I kind of understand both sides just because I'm from here and I see it more, and it's a little bit different than you think from your American or Australian or whatever eyes. But also I come from a family that is really like tolerant to everything, I'm not like most people here that kind of like, I sometimes feel like I'm alien living in 18th century here. So me personally, like, I don't really have anything against immigrants. I understand there's like a lot of people that lost everything and don't have anything. Personally, I only have problem with people that are using all this chaos, and the facts, like, they don't really need even to show IDs or anything to go anywhere for their own benefit, You have some people that are like men that are 23, 24, whatever, and they are just like bailing the place, Just like, if they were really so endangered and if they really, really, really needed help that much, they would be happy when they hit the border of Croatia, you know. But no, they are too good for Croatia. They want to go to the Germany because there's better life there, you know. Listen, if you really were that starving and you had nowhere to go and nothing like at all in your life, you would be happy with the first safe place you would get to. We can agree on that, no? So, of course, as every normal human being, you want the best for yourself and stuff like that. And they, of course, want to go to the Germany because it's better life than here, you know? But then there comes a question of, wait, are you actually like that much in danger, and do you actually like needed safety that much as you're saying? That's just how it be.
Oh, okay, all right. You've got points. All right, you're right. Okay, you're right. I guess the thinking there is like, I mean, it's not rational, yeah, but I guess they want to go to Germany because it's more of a, you know, when you think of countries in Europe, you know, one of the first things you're gonna think about is Germany. I guess that's the reason why. But you know, you'd rather, you know, you'd go anywhere that it's safe, you know, because Syria's you know, getting fucked right now, you know. So
I'm just like thinking that comes from a human nature, that we just, our brain works in that way, that we like to generalize things, you know, to simplify them, to throw everyone in the same basket, you know. And that's actually damaging because in this case you have so many different people, you know. Some people are like mothers with children. Some people really actually just need safety, you know. Some people are using all this chaos, like I said, to just use the fact you don't even need, like, if I want to go to Germany, I need to show ID. If I want to fly to the UK, I need to show ID, passport, everything. Those people don't, you know. They don't even need documents to cross the borders, you know. So of course there's like a lot of different types of people with a lot of different types of agendas. Of course there's gonna be some terrorists in between there that use all this chaos just to quickly cross the borders without being checked and stuff like that, you know. So the whole situation and the thing is not as black and white and as simple as it's being presented. And our human brain wants it to be simple, you know. We just want a simple answer. Are they good or are they bad, you know? And that's where the problem comes from, I guess.
yeah, I mean, I guess for some people the answer is you don't know, or yeah, but
Yeah, it's based on base question. I mean, like, you have this individual, that individual, the third individual, you know. But I still think a majority of them are here for what, like, that they just don't have safety and they don't have nowhere to go, you know. There's still more good apples in the garden, the bad ones, you know, so to say.
yeah, but you know, in a human sense, you know, Parrish, like for example, in a human sense, you know, if you or I, you know, were getting destroyed by war, you know, wouldn't you think those people that are complaining, right, would be like, I wish a country could take me. You know, you gotta think of it from both sides, right? You know, you would think.
Yeah, and also Cash made very good points that I had not thought about. People sort of faking their refuge, or maybe they don't need as much help as they make out. And they do have those agendas where they need to, maybe they've been told that Germany's better than this Croatia or wherever they first land, but they should really be grateful for just being somewhere that is safe and people are helping them. And that when they aim for somewhere further, it's almost, I don't know, like, it's just not right. I think they should, if they're safe where they are, then they should value that care that they've been taken into.
Yeah, but once you're safe, you know, you accomplish that, okay, I'm safe. And then human nature is to think further, okay, where will I have better life now, you know? Even us, for example, we always want better and better and better and something better for yourself, you know? So I do also understand that point, you know? It's just that it's not like they would reach like Croatia or Bosnia or like the first safe place, they would stay there, be grateful for a while. And then once they settled or something, they would start to think, okay, now we're safe, breathe, And after like few years or whatever, they'd be like, okay, what are better options for me? It's literally like within few days, Like I don't really fall really for newspapers. I don't really read them, like even because like when I see like hate-filled immigrants agenda on newspapers and the news and stuff like that, I just kind of really look through it. But there was actually one case which I cannot deny. Like they asked like immigrants when they came in Slovenia, what did they think of Slovenia and whether it's a nice country or not. And they just said, oh, Slovenia? No, we don't want to stay here. What the fuck? People have so low salaries, Like in Germany, they have better. We want to go to Germany. No one's going to stay here in Slovenia. I was like, what, man? You just came from Syria. You have no fucking, like, yours, I don't know, like, the farms here, like, probably are in better state than, their houses there are in ruins, So it kind of like, you think they would appreciate or value it, but they really didn't, and that kind of offended most of the people, I guess.
Yeah, that is quite sad. I mean, I think it's also the times and what people have been available. Like the internet has given people access to the information of the laws in each countries, and of course they've seen that the wages are not so good, and they want better for their family or for themselves. But looking back, when my father had to run from the war, they had to leave their entire farm from Latvia during the Second World War and come to Australia. And the mother and father of my grandparents and the children worked very hard to secure a house in Australia and to set themselves up to live and have a better life. So I think it's just the perspective that the refugee comes with for what they want for their lives, and I think that with what's out in the world already, and they're in Slovenia seeing that, oh, it's so, they think it's so much worse than it might be much better than Syria, but in their mind they've seen what's out in the world and they just they're not happy with it because of what they already know. And that I guess it's the perception of and the differences in the world that it's sad though. I mean, if I was a refugee, I would be very happy to be away from where I was and be somewhere.
Yeah, like from your family and what I'm hearing, like from your case, right? They just went to Australia. They thought they'd be safe there. When they were safe, they were happy with it. Of course, later when you live in a country, maybe, I don't know, they landed, I don't know, somewhere away from Sydney and they would see, oh, maybe in Sydney there's better life, and they would move there eventually, but not like within 2-3 days, like beggars can't be choosers,
Yeah, I mean, when all of the Europeans came in the war to Australia, they weren't given a choice on what job they got. They were just given what they were given, and some of them had to go out on the ranges in the middle of the desert to test nuclear weapons, and all of them got very sick, and most of them died very early because of that. And it was very sad, but it's a repetitive thing, I think, that's happening with refugees and people escaping countries that is having turmoil, and it's just going to keep happening until that we can do the most we can for the world, so that it settles and that there's no war and no chaos. There's just, I know it sounds like a dream, but it's just what we have to work towards, because it's what is right and what will help the situation. And helping the refugees is just what I believe in to fix that. And if we use fear and to use excuses of why they can't be there and just palm everything off away and they don't exist, will create more chaos for their next generations and their children and all of that sort of stuff that comes with the graduation of chaos. And and the ripple effect that trauma can put on people's children and then their children. So yeah, then we want to have a stable society. So we have to show that we are to refugees that we are compassionate, so that they will then receive that compassion and then bring that into the society that they enter.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, it's not an overnight thing. If refugees are gonna go into other countries, it'll take a while. Like if they're gonna stay there, it'll take a while to assimilate with the rest of the community. You may have to learn the language, all that. And that takes a while. Like for example, it's not easy to learn a language as an adult. If you're an adult, so it'll take a while, but yeah, like Kesh said, people do have to be happy with where they land, like for example, if, I don't know the exact living conditions, but if I was getting destroyed in my country, I'd want to go to the safest place I can go, or the next best safe, at least safe, so whether it be Slovenia, fucking Germany, Poland, whatever, I just want to go somewhere where there's no bombing, you can't go from, ground level to the top of the ceiling in 2 days, that's kind of ridiculous. You got to be grateful for what you got. You live it, you're no longer looking out your window scared, so you've got to internalize that, be grateful for that, and I guess that may be the disconnect for some people as well. But yeah, I've got no qualms about the refugees, no qualms at all, if as long as you keep living, I'm fine.
I just think it's unrealistic to expect everything is gonna always be perfect, and like I said, it's not one night thing, so of course there's gonna be bad things happening and stuff, but my idea is to similar to Perish, we should not succumb to fear, and to let us overcome us to achieve something for a greater good, whenever there was something that required greater good in overall perspective, it never ever goes completely smooth, and there's always bad things that happen in between, you just have to deal with them and just keep
Exactly, and when the situation comes up, if a refugee is being is acting like a criminal and robbing, and you would treat them exactly like you would treat anyone else in that society, and use that process to, it's hard to, there also needs to be support. So if they were doing that because they didn't have a certain thing, then I think I guess it's a situational sort of thing, but if they were just a menace and acting out in violence, which I doubt would happen too often at all, just being refugees, I would be grateful just for help. And I don't know, I think that if a situation comes up, it can be dealt with, but the fear of a situation is not helpful to anyone because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever I look at Discord and people are complaining, people are from Sweden, Finland, complaining in Snit, I'm like, bro, you're not gonna see him anyway, so why the fuck are you complaining? That I don't know. That's kind of what I think.
Yeah, it's annoying that also when people complain, it gets passed down to their children, and then it just gets spread like a disease. People are just all band together and agree that, oh, they're bad, yes, get them out of our country, but they don't put themselves in their shoes and think, what are the effects of this these people and their children and the generation of this community of people that are trying to find refuge from a country that has been attacked. So just as on this world we have no right to separate people and push them away because we have a fear of, oh, they're coming into our space. That's very childlike. I have no words for that sort of behavior.
It goes back to what Jean said at the start of the show, you know. If the coin flipped the other way, maybe we wouldn't be here, or maybe we would be in their shoes, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Finland. Okay, I don't want to say this. Actually, yeah, let me just say it. Shout out to Finland. Wait, no, that's not historically accurate. Never mind. But anyway, yes, I hope that was a good thing right there. So, also, Paris, you talked about your Latvian heritage. You've got Latvian heritage, you said?
Yeah, I like the way you say that. Latvian.
Yeah, Latvian.
It is Latvia.
When did you find that out? Because I remember I saw you put that on Discord a couple of weeks ago. Did you just find out there and then, or did you know before?
Oh no, it's my father's from Latvia, so that's how I knew. And he speaks the language fluently. Sadly, didn't teach us. Doesn't know, but was I pressing the X? I'm not sure if you could hear me.
No, we could hear you. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, my father was Latvian. That's how I knew.
How about that? See, I tell you, the coin flipped. You know, your what grandparents or something left, right?
Yeah, it's 2 wars they went through. They went through two wars. The grandparents and then the parents, and my father. So it's quite a long time that they experienced this chaos. Oh no, it was my grandparents. Yes. So my father and my grandparents went through the Second World War together, and that's where that little document was from. And then they had to flee to Australia. First went to Sydney, and then they were given their specific jobs allocated to them, and then from there they were sent to Adelaide, and then that's when I think my father was working. I'm not sure what he was doing, but I know the mother and the sister, the daughter, my what's it called? Aunt. She was working in a hospital cleaning, I think, but my father took a completely different. He absolutely, what would you say? He didn't take any job. He created his own job, ran away from the family, and became an aerial, like an artist, and did hand balancing and joined a circus. And then from there, he just explored the entire world with his act. And so it was very interesting to see his life journey change from fleeing from the war and then being allocated a job he wasn't happy with, like selling vacuum cleaners in Sydney in like the 60s, and then working on a dairy farm, and then saying, stuff this, I'm going to travel the world. That's pretty much his life journey.
Wait, so is your mom's side from Australia originally?
She is English.
Oh, well, still, okay, now I understand why you have this stance on refugees, because for, like, if, let's say, like, one of those wars didn't happen, and your dad or grandparents on your dad's side didn't go to Australia, then you'd either be different or you wouldn't be here.
Oh yeah.
So
I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, so
I would be dead. I mean, my father was meant to have children a long time ago, but he had us very late, so really I should be his granddaughter.
Like that, so there you go, you know.
Rings a bell,
Just skipped a generation there.
Rings a bell.
Yeah, my dad is old too, so, you know, he's the age where I could be his grandson, but I'm the son, so.
Yeah, that's the same here.
How about that? Well, you know. But yeah, you know.
How old is your father, Russian?
He is 87, but he's a very functional 87. Like, whenever I look at YouTube, for example, right, and they talk about, oh, you're never gonna see a healthy, like, 78-year-old. Oh, they're probably gonna be dead. It's like, it feels weird to me because, like, I mean, my dad isn't, like, 100% healthy, but, like, he is, like, 100% functional, you know what I mean? When I look at those types of things, I'm like, damn, like, people really, like, write off life so early, you know? So.
Absolutely, people, I think it's this idea in their head where they get hit 50 or they hit 60 and like, oh, I'm nearly dead, and then they just give up and nothing means, they put less meaning into their lives, which means that their brain deteriorates and they stop firing these neurons that create sort of reality, and maybe, who knows, but I think it's just keeping that drive for life that keeps people alive.
Yes, also he's 86, excuse me, he's 86, I just added the year to him, but
yeah, that's same for my father's also 86.
Wow, about that.
He also was very functioning until he.
I can hear
cat.
No, that's a bird or something.
No, it was kitten. No,
nah,
maybe
it's a bird.
That's a cat.
Yes, it's a cat. Oh my god.
I don't know about
Oh, I miss my cat. Meow.
Where are the meows coming from?
that. Somewhere outside the window.
They are heavenly.
Somewhere outside the window, but I don't know. Anyway, Karen, what were you gonna say?
Who?
I was gonna say.
I was saying something, but it's not very important.
Story of my life. Let's see here. One thing I wonder about Australia is why is 2% of the country's landmass, I believe, populated around the... Wait, I'm saying this wrong, am I? Like, 2% of the populated areas of Australia are used. Like, mostly you guys, like, settle around the coast. Like, why don't you guys go inland or some shit?
There are people inland, probably not too many. Inland is hard to source sort of things to there. It's expensive to get things out there. There's a lot of droughts out there in the desert areas, in the inland. So it's dry and it's desolate, and yeah, I think it's just hard to live out there unless there's a huge stream or something, I think. And yeah, I think people just haven't branched into the center of Australia, because even though, you know, like America's got this big desert and they seem to be fine with it, but I guess they just haven't populated that area, and it would be hard to do that with the cities that already exist there. I mean, no one has a reason to go out there.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, it's easier to settle around water. As far as I know, like, most of the desert area here is like highway, and maybe some small towns, but you know.
Yeah, that sounds right. Also, you want to know a fact that the entire population of Australia is like the population of one big city in America.
Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, it probably is a cat.
Moving on to the fact of overpopulation, which I saw one of those questions, or not the fact of overpopulation. It's not really a fact, but it's an idea, and I don't agree with that at all. I think there's enough space in this world to fit people. It's just a matter of maybe of resources and growing the right amount of food for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Because, for example, like fucking China and India, like in what 50 years, they'll probably have 2 billion people each. So, and all those people live. So, you know.
And it started off with tribes, and then those tribes got bigger and bigger, and then there was agriculture, and then that boomed, and then down the track, blah blah blah, people are still circulated around that initial growth from agriculture. So that's why I think people haven't branched out and explored the world, and that's why it seems so overpopulated in one area, because over generations and generations people haven't moved. They've stayed where the source of their mummy's breast is, which is the food that is produced on the land that surrounds them.
Yeah, plus most people seem to be more comfortable with where they've grown up in. I was watching a sports talk show, and the dude said, I don't remember the statistic, but he said that most people live out their lives within like 30 miles of where they grew up, which, you know, when you think about that, it's very profound.
It is.
Travel, yeah. So that's how it be. That could be a reason why people get upset and scared when refugees come in, because it may be a country where
absolutely.
It's like just
everything's so familiar.
Yeah, it's familiar. There's one culture. You know, they are. They embrace the culture that has been passed through for quite a while, and they don't know this other entity and all that. It does make me wonder how people would think of them if there was no YouTube.
I think that it would be great for people to, for me, I would feel better if I'd met a refugee that had come to Australia, just to make conversation and get to know them and what they've been through and create that relationship within my mind of who that particular person is, and then branch off to other people that have come from that area, and I would feel more comfortable understanding who they are as people, these refugees, because I want to know more about who they. So someone just killed me at CnR, or tried to. I want to know what's going on with what they're experiencing and what they've been through, and I feel like there's no proper coverage of what's actually going on.
Let's see here. Speaking of the world, though, what do you think about global warming?
Like climate change, I think.
Yeah, climate change, yeah.
That, if we don't, of course, as everyone has heard, if there is an action taken for that clean energy, and then we will die and we will suffer the consequences of ruining this earth.
Yeah, usually when Kesh talks about, America, I guess she's right about this, because, America has helped very bigly to screw a lot of the world. But yeah,
like for example, here we have 4 different bins in every household. You have for paper, for all sorts of wrappings, like plastics, whatever. No, not really, it's called emballage, emballage, I don't know, whatever. It's just like what things come wrapped in. Then you have separate for plastic and separate for bio things, like peels of banana or whatever. Every freaking household has that. Tell me, where do you have that in America? Do you have that in America?
Well, we only have 2. We only have 2 bins. We've got the trash and the recycle.
Nice. What's the average petrol consumption on the American car? 4 times as much as on European car, I bet you, or half as much. And then people are like, oh, you should recycle, you should pick a car that doesn't have much petrol consumption. Yeah, because us 2 million people here in Slovenia, we do more than you do in America. So we are trying here on this side, and then we have you there on that side that screw up everything. You know what? We are essentially, when you think about it, we are drip in the ocean, because you are not doing your shit. We can do everything here, but if you're not gonna do your part, it's we are 2 million people. If 2% of New York City would recycle, we would be on the same page.
Wow, you know, I don't know what to say to that. Yeah, I don't say that. I didn't expect you to go into the detail there, but yeah, you know, before I was wondering, like, what's the big deal, bro? I thought it was just like strictly like weather, you know, like people are saying, oh, it's getting hotter or something. I don't know, but when you get deep into it with all the, you know, carbon dioxide and, you know, all the, you know, crap we put in the ozone and all that, yeah, it's will be an issue that our children and grandchildren have to figure out. You know, basically it feels like, you know, people, I guess, here are like, hey, whenever the world goes belly up, I'm not gonna be alive, so why the fuck should I give a shit? You know, I think that may be kind of like the people that are in legislature that, you know, aren't doing SNIT. That's probably what they're thinking. But yeah, we gotta get on that. We gotta get on that. Also, Parrish, another thing about the world. I don't know.
I think that it. Sorry, just to add one more thing to that, and that if the chaos comes from the climate change, I think that it would rapidly change humans' consciousness and human awareness. So that will be the positive thing that will come out of climate change. I guess the what's that word? The repercussions of what we've done. So yeah, and then we will realize and hopefully slow down. That's all we can hope.
Yeah, let's hope. For some reason, I've got the word nukes in my notes here. Like... nukes, yes.
I'm gonna ask her what she thinks about nuking
I
the
guess,
rest of the world.
I guess
Was
my
that
thought...
from previously?
Yeah, it was here already. I don't know why it's there. I guess my thought process was...
We were talking about nukes, I think.
Maybe. Like, I guess my thought process was, you know... the method of war has changed as time has gone on, and possibly the only reason why most of the world is in peace right now is because of nukes. Because if you use a nuke, well, guess what? You fuck the world worse than global warming. So, I'm not really sure what question I could form out of this. What was that?
I've heard that theory that the nukes and weapons and armies keep the world settled.
Well, not armies, but like just nukes itself. Because, you know, like, for example, like in World War II, you know, the fucking atomic bomb basically just made Japan go on their knees. But if those existed at the beginning of the 20th century, right? Maybe there would be no world wars. I don't know. I'm not really sure if I should ask you.
Or there would be no world.
Yeah, or that too. I mean, because I don't know if you heard in the 80s, apparently something in Russia fucked up, and they thought that America was sending nukes over there, and they were about to send them back, but some smart guy, some smart savior Russian dude was like, no, it's fake. And it stopped the nuclear war.
Was non-vodka, probably.
Yes, so that's the reason why we're all
Wow.
here today. Because of one person who had the best judgment.
But I've also heard that nukes are just made up and don't exist anyway. So it's hard to just...
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, if an atomic bomb was dropped, then maybe in the 70 years that has passed, maybe we got something, you know. And plus, many countries seem to claim they do, you know. North Korea, Russia, America, so you never know. You never know. I guess I was gonna also ask about, you know, is the population of the world getting too big? But I guess you answered that kind of, because, you know, people are still living. Then again, there have been famines in China, you know, that have killed a lot of people.
Is this recent? Because I did hear that something, the economy is just failing.
I think in the 20th century, yeah, there was a famine, I think, before their war on communism. But yeah, I don't know. The thing is, like, you know, something, if food can't go to a certain place, like especially if it's a densely populated place, like people can drop like flies. So, you know, that's why if something bad happens that we never, you know, will guess, you know, things can be bad.
I do want to add to that you can survive without food for a good amount of time just drinking your own urine. So if you do find yourself in a famine, then just drink your urine repeatedly and you will be saved for some.
Well, you know, I guess I can add that to my my survival book. I remember seeing a show. I don't know if you know how you fucking say his name. Bear Grylls. Bear Grylls. His fucking name is.
Yes, Bear Grylls.
Yes. I saw a few shows that he brought celebrities out into the desert or some shit, and they had him do that. And even though the idea of that is odd, it's a great tip to have. It's a great tip
Yes, it is. I definitely keep it in mind.
Exactly. Would you do that, Cash? Would you drink your own you know?
Urine?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
It's better mine than someone else's.
Well, I mean, all the more to live if it's somebody else's, right? But yeah, anyway, so we're gonna take another break. When we come back, we'll get into
the questions.
Yes, we'll get into the questions from the CnR congregation. This is the interview section. Alright, welcome back to the Punkery Show interview session. Final segments with your host, Rashawn and Cash, and we also have Parrish here, who is her eyes kinda seem to be sleepy at this point, so we'll try to get through these questions as quickly as possible. First question is from Money. He asked, "Who's your favorite Aussie?"
In CnR?
Yeah, possibly.
I would assume so. Chessbook, definitely. I really like Chessbook.
Yes, Chessbook. He is, you know, he knows how to have fun. Like he can definitely,
He does.
you know, he knows the difference between having fun and being serious. Like when he is serious, he's serious. But when he's fun, he's really fun.
I've never seen him serious, ever.
Where is he? I used to like see him on our time zones as well, and me and Ciyber and him would play a lot and stuff, but he never plays now like normal time for us.
He plays, we usually play like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, sometimes 8.
But he does still play, because I haven't seen him like in ages.
He does still play, yeah.
Yeah, probably a different time, but yeah, you know, when Chessbook gets serious, it's kind of scary. It's a little scary, honestly.
Does he get serious in chat, or what does he do, hug people?
No, like when there's a subject, you know, like, you know, for example, with the adminship and stuff, like when he disagrees with something, like he's got a steadfast stance, you know, like, he knows what he believes, you know.
That's good, yes.
Exactly. So respect for Chessbook. Next questions
He
are
has a
from
very good head.
a pet. What pet does he have?
He has a very good head, I
Oh,
said,
head,
like
head.
a mind. Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Let's see here. Next questions are from LypeX. First question he asked, do you have drop bears in your garden?
No, unfortunately. We do have, though, possum drop bears, which eat food out of bin and other things.
But this is the first time I've heard of a drop bear.
Me too.
It was just a meme a while ago that tried to scare, like, visitors to Australia.
No wonder. Let's see here. He also asks, does everyone there drink Fosters? Or is that just a stereotype?
Fosters.
Could be. I've seen it, but people drink here fuzzy or something. It starts with an F too, but it's different. Fuzzies, I think it's called.
Oh, close enough. Close enough. Next question he asked, what is the strangest or most exotic thing you've eaten?
That is an interesting one. Probably when my dad, when I was a kid, cooked tree worms up and fed them to us.
A lot of protein.
A
lot of protein. Yeah, worms are protein, you know. You gotta get them. And last one from LypeX, he asked, how often are you mobbed by kangaroos while walking down the street?
Only when not mobbed by them, but when I used to live in Darwin, the kangaroos used to chill on our street, like in the afternoon and then.
Yeah, I thought it was just like a misconception that, you know, kangaroos were like always in sight distance in Australia. That's why I didn't ask you
in some towns in Northern Territory and like small towns where the kangaroos are rampant, then yes, they're like everywhere and you'll see them.
Damn, about that. Next question's from Buddy. He asked, did Vladimir Putin visit your garden before?
No.
I think he had the wrong guest. I don't know.
I think that question is just ridiculous.
Shout out to Buddy. Next one from Fernando52. He asked, what genre music you like?
I like psytrance, jazz. I like, there's a new album. I'm just gonna say an album and that'll be my answer. Tipper. If you look up the latest album from Tipper, I love that sort of music. And folk music. Just any sort of music that has good meaning, and dance music and deep house, stuff like that.
Alright guys, there you go. Google Tipper. There you go.
Double P.
Yeah, with 2 P's, yeah. Next ones are from Cyberg. He says, describe chairspork in 3 words.
Intuitive. Fun. And knowledgeable.
Had to think of 3 very good words right there.
What a nice question to answer when you've had sleep for breakfast.
Sleep for breakfast. Oh no. I actually haven't finished my breakfast.
Was that another voice? I feel like
Yes.
I heard someone else's voice.
Yeah, that was Vega. Everything.
Yes, everything got word, and he's here for the tail end.
Hello, everything.
How would you describe Roshan in 3 words?
God.
I don't know Russian too well,
Exactly. There you go. I'm trying
so
to.
the 3 words would be I don't know.
No.
He wow, that's a good one. Well, the last one you bailed on the show, he promised to have a close-up meeting with you, so maybe you'll have a chance to meet him up.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, get to know him better.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing. Definitely.
I think he also like changed a lot of Roshan's opinion about you, because Roshan is actually an idiot, you know. Because the first time I was like back in the what was that thing even called?
Mumble.
Mumble days, yeah. He would just hate me like for no apparent reason until I started talking to him, you know. Even when I joined this show, he freaking hated me, and then he realized like I'm completely different than what he thought I was, or I were, or whatever. And I'm pretty sure he had like a lot of like made opinions in his head about you, but you just probably like completely fucked with those now. So
Oh, well, I mean, these interviews
Which-
have done that, yes. They,
I think it helps to have an opinion of someone when you've actually spoken to them and had a conversation.
yes,
so
exactly.
this actually proves that yeah, the Rashawn.
I mean,
is a
Rashawn
fan.
still thinks Cash is an idiot, so.
Yeah, you know, at times, yeah. Anyway, last question from Ciyber is, if you invented a monster, what would you call it, and what features would it have? Chivo?
Oh, cyber.
Oh my God.
Chiba. Well, we're not going to talk about Chiba. Monster. I don't know. Something that could fly, swim, and crawl. And people could also ride it. And it had lots of legs, like the legs were also seats. And they were out like airplanes. So an airplane, but also underwater airplane and land airplane.
That's pretty multifaceted, for sure. Let's see here. Okay, so Warlord has a slew of questions here. I think we know the answer to this one. First one is tea, coffee, or me. Me is in Warlord, so he says tea, coffee, or Warlord.
Coffee. Though I once did try coffee and tea at the same time. It was pretty interesting.
A
Like in
good
a same
way.
in the same mug, you mean? Like in
Yeah.
the same. Oh, I have to try that. Giving me an idea now.
I don't drink coffee, so. Warlord also asks, how often are you indoors and outdoors?
Yeah, I don't know what he means by that.
I guess he means like, how often are you, like,
How do you answer that?
I guess he
How
means
often
like,
are you-
I guess
I mean,
you want to give me a percentage of indoors and
yeah,
outdoors.
that's what he means, yeah, I guess.
Okay. I think maybe 60-40. 60 indoors and then 40% outdoors. Because I like to walk a lot outside and I generally go out each.
Yeah, it would have been funny if you just said all the time. Because, you know, indoors plus outdoors equals all the time. So, you do.
Yeah.
Next one from Borla, he asked, what's your favorite constellation?
I just like all of the stars. I'm not going to single anyone out.
So you gotta be nice to all the stars. Next
Of course.
one. When was the last time you ate meat? And what was it? What is it?
It was, god damn, I don't want to answer this. Like a week ago it would have been when I was 16, but I had a sushi with some chicken inside. Very small sushi piece, like 2 days ago. It was free. It was on the table in the lunchroom.
I love it how you tried to excuse yourself, you know, like it was free, it was there on the table.
Why not?
Yeah,
Like it makes it better, you know. Like myself, it was
it's more moral.
yeah. It's okay, we all
Yeah.
do this actually.
It's there. Might as well eat it. Warlord also asked, do you have a boyfriend? He spelled friend wrong, but boyfriend.
I do see someone, yes.
That's the. I'm sorry, Warlord, too bad. Next question.
Back to the born.
Oh no. He also asked, where is your avatar from? Your form avatar from?
It's from Dragon Ball Z. It's Chi-Chi.
That's the yeah. I knew that, but
How do you not know that? Watching anime.
I think like he knows. I'm sure. I just think he wanted her to say it. So you know.
Of course.
Yeah, just to make sure she knows that it's from Dragon Ball Z. Speaking of that, Boyd also asked, what's your stance on anime or any Oriental-based cartoon, and how do you compare them to Western cartoons?
I think that they have better storylines and just a lot more intricacy to them. I just like anime. I like anime, but it's, I guess, a good one with a good story, like those like Howl's Moving Castles movies like that are great. I like that. They always have good messages for kids as well, I've noticed.
Yeah, exactly. See, last year I got berated because I was playing this visual novel anime game, right? And I got fucking berated for it. So, and I fucking berated them. You know, and they got mad. So, you know, the thing is, you know, people just seem not to look past the appearances of what anime is. They just think it's some kind of deviant snit, and it's not all deviant snit, you know? A lot of it has substance, just like any other, you know, form of media. There's a substance side, and there's a deviant side, just like in anything. And, you know, people seem to demasculinize people for liking anime, which is fucking stupid. And
also, just to add to this, I don't know if you've seen it, but the Twilight Zone's pretty nice.
the Twilight Zone, not the 40s show.
No, that one is nice. I like that one, but the Twilight Zone, I'm pretty sure it's called that. It's just like a bunch of different writers that come and make stories. I think I might be getting it confused, but I'm pretty sure it is the Twilight Zone.
I mean, I don't know. I grew up on a few.
I'll link it in the chat later anyway. Sorry, I just got derailed. I just really like that show.
To check that out, yeah. Next up, Warlord asked, are you a fervent subject of the British Crown? If I said that word right, fervent?
Yes, I guess.
I don't know what that means.
Am I a citizen?
I guess.
I have a Latvian passport. And my mom's English, and
he okay, yeah, he's saying, do you, like, I guess you support the British Crown or something, the monarchy, whatever.
No, I don't really agree with the Queen's position.
I don't know what her position is, but I just feel like, you know, it's 2019, and if you still have a monarchy, then, you know, yeah.
I don't agree with it at all.
Well, yeah, she's old anyway. Next one from
She's
Warlord.
also a demon.
Ooh, that's strong. I don't know how she's a demon, but that's strong. That's strong. That's strong.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Yeah. Next one. If you could get the chance to tame an emu, do you prefer it to be your mode of transportation, or is that too cruel?
That's absolutely too cruel. They have 2 spindly legs, and I would crush it. Plus, I can run faster. I mean, I'd just slow the emu down.
Well, damn, there you go. It's not like a camel or something.
No.
Let's see here. Next one. In mechanical terms, do you know your way around a bike? Your bike, excuse me. Your bike.
I know how to clean a carburetor, and I know how to change the oil. I know how to take it apart, but I wouldn't know how to put it back together. And no, I probably wouldn't know how to fix it if it was broken. I just know how to service a bike.
It's good enough I can't ride one. Next one from Boiler. He's gonna kill me if I pronounce this wrong. Have you started Neon Genesis Evangelion? Excuse me. Evangelion, yeah. Neon Genesis
but
Evangelion.
I really want to. I do really want to watch that, and I will soon.
Yeah, see, he gets braided for that too. Next one, he asks, what is your current PC build?
It's, I don't know the exact specs offhand, but it's water cooled, and it runs very well. It has like 16 gig RAM. Some other processors that I don't know the specs of, but it's a very good, and I like it.
Well, at least you're not Lucas. Do you know the story behind that?
That's mean. I sort of do. Did he sell it? I don't know.
There's a donkey on it. Let's see. Next one. He asked, can you live off the land in a survival situation? Or let's say 3 days with a survival knife, a water jug, and exactly 5 small bags of peanuts in the Australian outback.
Absolutely. That's very easy. Extremely easy.
Well, the problem is that I wouldn't carry peanuts because they're salty and they make you want water.
I'd put all the peanuts in one bag. I think it's unreasonable to have 5 bags.
Yeah, you only need one. I wouldn't carry peanuts at all. What'd you say?
You can use peanuts to burn them. They would burn well, I guess.
Oh, okay, that's what that. Okay, that's the thinking there. Okay, I get that.
Survivalist here.
Survivalist in a small country. Let's see. Next one is: do you own? Excuse me. Do you have a weapon of choice in the future? Not limited to anything. Could be anything corporeal, fictitious, or figurative. Is it corporeal? Fucking word.
The needler.
Oh, wait, say it?
The needler from Halo.
I haven't played Halo, so I don't know.
It's very satisfying.
Well, that's what she'd have. She'd have that.
And it's also pink, and there's different colors. I think there's pink and blue.
So you'd take it in pink.
Yeah.
That sticks it like a sore thumb, though, but, you know.
They do stick into your body.
Oh.
The needles.
Oh. That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought
Sean has no idea what Halo is.
Yeah, I haven't played Halo. I know what Halo is, but I haven't played Halo, so...
Oh, wow. That's very surprising.
Yes, it's a console game, right? I don't have a console, so, you know. Great.
You can play it on PC.
Oh.
No problem.
Oh, I had no idea. When it comes to Halo, I am completely clueless.
Well, that's okay. You could Google the needle if you want, if you're interested in knowing what it is.
I'll Google it right now. As I ask this question, if you are declared the undisputed leader of the whole of Australia and its territories and dominions, free and independent of any other nation, how would you run it?
Well, I would create a community out of the people, and have the focus more on the community rather than like the status of jobs, or like I would if it's disconnected from the other parts of the world, then I would lessen the focus on money and sort of more focus it on the growing each person's sort of creating food in each garden. I guess if I had that power and ability to sort of influence everyone and create a society where we didn't run purely on consumption and just rubbish going to the waste and packaging, and I would get really angry at Coles and Woolworths, like the big chain companies, and I'd be like, fuck your plastic and you're not allowed to do this shit. And I would go to the farmers and I'd say, well, let's sort this shit out. How are we going to feed this country properly and without all this here to here to here to here and freezers and all that junk? I'd create a sort of more direct sort of drip, not a direct, what's it called? I don't know, source of everything. Everything would be sourced directly from where it is originated from.
Less import, less packaging, less.
Yeah, like it wouldn't go to all this packaging shit. I think that's ridiculous.
No more plastic.
Like local produce or whatever people call it.
Yeah, I would want to create like sort of trucks that go to the farmers, and this is something I'm making up in my head right now. So this is my like utopian sort of creation in my head right now. But I think just if the farmers were there, I would get people to get them the food and take them to the specific communities, and then the communities would come together and put those resources to use in the best way possible together, not sort of just in families, of course, like not all just big one huge pot, but just divide the stuff, the food that is created from the farmers, and everyone will do with it what they can. And yeah, I don't know, that sounds like communism, but it's not really.
That's just what I was thinking. I just wanted to say, this really sounds like communism.
It's not communism, it's like a more community based, not like you get this and that and that. It's like, well, the farmers have created this food for us. Let's do something with it together, and not like you get 2 peas and 1 carrot. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I would just want to change the system of what is run right now, what the focus is, and make status and societal sort of gains not connected to money, and more connected to what you're actually contributing to the community. Yeah.
Not just as a buyer going to the shop and buying something.
Yeah. It isolates people so much, and it's really positive to eat together as well. I think people should come together.
That's what I was telling Tershawn. Like he doesn't eat with his family. Like once a week he doesn't eat with his family. Like what? What? Fucking Americans, I'm telling you.
It's really nice to cook with people, I think. Well, yeah, it's hard when you have too many cooks, but it's nice to cook for people.
Well, yeah, that there you go. That sounds better than Parish's Republic of Australia. That's a code word for communism, but it's not.
It's not communism.
I know.
It's using our resources as a community in the best possible way, and it's communism now with sort of I don't know. It's all layered and confusing.
I understand. I just wanted to make a joke there. Listen, you understand, right? Kiss my ass. But anyway, next question. Since you shared videos of yourself playing a guitar, are you a musician by now?
I guess. Oh, I just farted.
I didn't hear it.
You didn't? Okay. It was quite loud. But anyway. I make noises with my mouth. I am a musician.
Girls don't fart. They don't poo either.
Oh, no. I did join a band for some months last year, and then all throughout this year I was with them, but I recently left the band because I was having issues with my co-singer, and I just felt that it was best for me to go my own path and my own way, rather than stay with a band where I didn't feel completely connected with everyone and the direction of the band. I feel like I have other focuses in my life, and this band was taking a lot of my energy and a lot of my commitment, so I need to let go of that. So I would consider myself a musician, a singer, but I am yet to perform and my own songs to the world. Yet I have done some open mics, but I feel like I'm happy with just recording every now and then and just posting it here and there, some songs that I like to share. I think creating a little set would be nice, but it's not something I'm going to force into existence, because I have a friend actually named Laura, which I saw recently play her gig the other night, and I'm going to play bass with her. I won't sing, maybe a few backup vocals, but when she does gigs, I will probably join her and play bass. So that would be fun. So yes, I guess I'm still in the game of the musician world in the sense that I play music. Yeah.
I actually want. I know this is extending the show and everything, but still, I wondered ever since you said it earlier, and since we're back to the artistic voice. You said your dad worked in circus or something, no? Something like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how does that look like? I mean, do I have like the correct image? Like, did he do like gymnastics, or like he had elephants, or like how does it?
I have lots of photos of him and what he did, but it was quite incredible. He would balance on his hands, and he would hang from his teeth, and he would spin, and he did trapeze as well, flying trapeze, but mostly he had this hand balancing act that was very sort of almost looked like it defied gravity, because he would have one hand down. His legs would firstly be up in the air, and he would be upside down. But then he would gradually go to like a horizontal position, so his whole body would be horizontal except for his one hand that was down, holding his body up. So that was like one of the major tricks that he did. But
yeah, so
he just did many things but had his own act that he brought around the world.
Yeah, so since he's performer more like, right? He's not just someone like taking
very
out
silent performer though.
Yeah.
I never watched his act. It would be amazing to actually have footage of it. But he did perform in front of sort of, I think in some countries, some royal performances where he would perform in front of whoever they were. They would like look for the best artist to come and entertain them, and he did a few of those performances for various families that were rich families, I guess, and that was what helped him travel the world, which was really good. He also traveled in Canada a lot and performed in nightclubs, and I think he's had quite an adventurous life, even though I don't know the details too much. But yeah, it wasn't just circus. It was many other aspects that he explored. But circus was a part of his time in Australia. I think that was the best outlet for his act to be performed.
Has he never tried to like pass this on to you or something? You said like you even took part in circus for 1 year, right? And
I did.
Like,
and
did you not feel like you could like, you're artistic person obviously, right? So did you not like feel like you could find something in that direction?
Yeah, I did. When I was in high school, I actually wanted to be a trapeze artist, and I did have an act for a little bit, but I was much younger. Sort of moved away from circus. I used to go to a circus school until I was 13, and learned lots of different things like juggling and unicycle and trapeze, which was my favorite. But I didn't want to go down that path because I guess I experienced a lot of it growing up and going on the holidays to circus, and it was something that I feel is very old. I guess it's from. I think circuses are dying out, and it's becoming harder for them to survive on the road and travel. But yeah, I take good experiences from learning all about the circus and acts, and seeing what my father did inspired me a lot to delve into that when I was younger.
I'm still hung up by he hung from his tooth.
Yeah, he had a special little leather thing that he would bite onto and then hang, and then he would spin around.
Oh, well, damn. That's better than I could do, that's for damn sure. Next questions we're gonna combine here, in case you didn't listen to the earlier part of the show. Borlord also asked, what is your current and dream occupation?
That's a good question. Um, I would say having the ability to use my knowledge and skills in a variety of areas with adults, children, teenagers, in psychology and in that's probably what it would be to use my skills in a variety of areas and a variety of people, and so I would gain sort of clients that I would help over a period of time and support. I guess my dream job would be to be a support for people and help them and create that little umbrella around me of people.
See, there you go. Always helping society. Always helping society. Last one from Warlord. He asked, what is your definition of the word justice? Very broad question.
I guess with the situation, finding balance in that justice. I mean, I can't really the definition of justice is as it is, but I'm trying to put it in context to something that justice would be used in. I don't know. That's a strange question, but justice for me is defined by taking the right action for something that has happened.
Yeah, I think that's like the consensus of an answer for justice, but you can answer that. It can be answered many different ways. General Price's question is, what's your favorite country and why? And which country do you dream to visit?
Favorite country? I don't know. Norway. I like Norway, I think. And to visit, I think Iceland would be interesting to visit. I've just got these random ones in my head, but I think I'll say Latvia overall, because it's just somewhere I really want to go because the family history and there's a family farm there which I really want to explore and just be there, because I know that my father grew up there and his father and I'm pretty sure their father, so yeah, that would be the place I would go in Latvia.
Yeah, always have to go back to the motherland.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Amiga.
Yes, Jamaica, the motherland. But yeah, in this case, Latvia would be the motherland. Oh, holy shit, 1 second. This guy's fucking cheating. Give me a second. I apologize. This dude that I'm randomly spectating.
Are you on LB?
Yes, I'm in the worst city in history. Actually, as I ban this dude, okay. Okay, next questions are from your favorite player. XxXs.
Oh no. No. He is the bane of my life.
Well, let's see how this will go. He asked, why were you deactivated on the forums last year and reactivated? Interpret that any way you can.
Because my brothers took my account and did something on it. I'm not sure what they did. Something or other, but yeah, I don't know how they got hold of it. But that's how I got deactivated.
Oh.
They apparently posted something.
Let's see. And next question, where I'm gonna try to paraphrase it for him. What is your opinion or thoughts on ya bros targeting certain people?
I think they're gonna just do what they like, and they target people that annoy them, I guess. If they find beef, which is what they like.
Yeah, they love that beef. They're vegan, but they love the beef.
They do love beef. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Look at you. You talk about beef all the time when you play CS.
Listen, alright, I don't talk about beef, okay?
Game sucks.
The game sucks. I died because the game sucks. That's how it is. Going to mug Cristiedge now. We'll get to beef in a bit, okay, after the show. He asked, what do you think about natural selection? I don't know what that means, but yeah, what do you think about natural selection?
Wow.
I actually googled that recently, and I don't really have an opinion. I haven't looked at, researched it enough to formulate an opinion.
Let's see here. It says the process whereby organisms better adapted to their environment tend to survive and produce more offspring. I don't know what that means. I've read it. I don't know what that means. DG.
Didn't you have like?
I think crackheads also have the ability of having sex with multiple people and giving birth to multiple babies over a period of 9 months.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. I mean, the only way that you'd have an issue is if you have an issue, you know, with your, feminine parts. You feel me? But yeah, naturally.
Oh, that was more in class.
Yeah, I think people's choices and actions are what sort of determine it. Not really. I haven't gone into that sort of stuff.
Let's see here. We already talked about overpopulation. He also asks, do you believe in the afterlife? Hell, heaven, reincarnation, all that.
Maybe not so much in afterlife, but reincarnation, not specifically related to animals, possibly to animals, I don't know, but I feel that I've been on Earth before, or I've been somewhere before, not specifically it could be this Earth, or if there are other planets, who knows what is out there. I feel definitely that I've come from somewhere a bit further away than Earth, or sometime long ago on Earth. I do believe in that, and I feel that I'm strongly connected to somewhere that isn't existent on the physical, like, it's getting a bit crazy here, but yeah, I feel like our minds are, it's like, where are our minds? It's like, consciousness is a very interesting thing to me, and who knows where the boundaries of that ends.
Yeah, Bega just said this is like a Greens topic, a very high as fuck topic.
Disagree? Mine.
This is like a King Icarus topic.
I tell you what, dude. Okay, one unrelated question. I meant to ask this earlier when we were talking about hippies. Have you smoked weed? Or do you smoke weed?
Of course.
Of course!
The fastest answer in history.
Gee, there you go. Put some respect on that. Last one from Cristiedge. He asked, would you rather rebuild all the great monuments from the past if they got destroyed, like the Eiffel Tower, the Colosseum, or Machu Picchu? Or would you rather help some children in Africa? And why? What a question.
This is a very silly question. Obviously the latter, and why? Because that is the right thing to do.
Yes,
and building all of that monuments, that's pretty meaningless to me. I think what matters to me more is the physical relationships between people, and emotional and mental, all that sort of stuff. That makes us real to each other, not monuments.
Yes, the well-being of people in the world, that matters a lot more, for sure.
But it looks like they're going to build some sort of swimming pool on top of that burnt down building in France.
Oh my god. That's
Hopefully not. Yeah.
That's pretty weird. MessedUpSmiley, he asks, after Australia losing the Emu War, do you think it was righteous to use weapons of mass destruction and allow nuclear tests on the Emu fields?
It sounds terrible. I agree with whatever he said. I mean, I'm not sure what he said, but I think yeah, it sounds like a ridiculous question.
Yeah, basically, you agree with that it's ridiculous to use
Yes.
nukes, nuclear things, tests in areas where emus are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. Where anyone is, actually.
Yeah, it is kind of silly. Then again, Russia has Siberia. Let's see here. Next one is Marcus Weed. He says hi, and he asks, "Are you or your family bogans?" I have no idea what that means.
Bogans is like a poor family that is not very smart, maybe, and live off very bad food and usually have welfare payments from the government. And their children probably swear a lot. And their parents probably smoke weed in front of their kids. I don't know. Bogans, I guess, I'd say hippies more than bogans. My brothers are. They can be bogan, but I think that's more like their personal hygiene, sort of their non-showering. But that's just their way of life.
Yes. And we're to our final question here, and usually the final question, randomly just ends up being the weirdest question. I think Cash remembers her last question, probably not. But
No, what was it?
I'm not gonna say it. But
You don't remember either.
Huh?
Probably.
I remember what it was, but
You tell me after.
yeah. So obviously the question comes from Lucas, which makes sense, He asked, and this has nothing to do with anything, but he asked if an octopus jacked a guy off, would it be a hand job or a foot job? That is the last question.
It would be an octa job.
There you go. There you have it. There you have it.
Question is absolutely strange. I didn't like that.
Well, I mean, it's Lucas. I mean, there you go. It's Lucas.
You know that when Lucas had his radio show as a DJ, I actually figured out I don't swear that much because he really, really, really does swear a lot.
Yeah, you're right.
A lot.
You're right. I actually didn't notice that, but yeah, he just says so much things that just makes you wonder. But yeah, there you go. That is the interview of Parrish. That is the end. It was a pleasure, Parrish, for sure.
It was also a pleasure to talk to you both and get to know you a bit more.
Sorry
Exactly.
for making you stay up till 3 a.m.
Is it
There
not
was
almost
another
3
way.
a.m.? Oh gosh, it is. I'm gonna sleep. I'm meeting my friend tomorrow at 11 a.m. Should be nice. But that's Laura, my friend, that she plays the guitar, but it should be fun. We're going to play a bit of music.
Yeah. We've been here for 3.5
How
hours.
long?
Did you?
Wow,
Well,
that's a long interview. Are you going
Yes.
to edit it, or are you just gonna chuck it up there?
It's. I'm gonna take the breaks out. So maybe once that is done, it may be like 2 hours 40, 250, probably close to 3 hours. So
The
yeah.
longest interview in history. I
Yeah,
think.
but yeah, I
Also-
expected Parrish to have content.
I just wanted to point out for the end how amazing it actually is that this stupid game that we play, but look, in the end, you have a person from Australia, a person from Europe, and a person from USA at the same time talking about
Yeah.
some random nonsense. That's pretty crazy when you look
We
at
can
it.
thank. We can also thank Crazy Bob for that. I do also often think that the work that he's put into this is amazing, and I'm grateful that I found this game through my brothers, of course. But either way, I'm glad to be here and play it and get my stress release.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Shout
amazing.
out to Crazy Bob.
Yeah, the one that got banned.
Yes, the fake Crazy Bob. Yes, with an S.
When did the interview start?
About 9 a.m.
2 hours ago.
like 9:20 a.m. here. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's gonna do it for Parrish's interview. We'll
Thank
see
you for
ya.
having me.
You're welcome, and thank you
You're
for being here. Later this week we'll have money,
Ooh.
so we'll see you next
I
time.
like Money's voice. He's got a nice voice.
I never heard him actually. He's my countryman, but I never heard him.
Yes, I
Oh,
feel
wow,
like
I'll get a chance.
this will get his chance. I may be yelling at him, but we'll see. We'll see you next time on the Punkry Show interview session. For Kesh, Bega, and Parrish, this is Rashawn. That is dead.